Greetings and salutations. This is Keith Hadley. I am the host of the Fangs podcast, and we are on StreamYard going live, and we're going to talk about what is going on within FAMU athletics. I'm going to move my little doodad over here to the left, and we're going to do a twice a week conversation, and we're going to work on getting some guests in and other things. This is my first time going live though, so I'm excited. Now, what we're going to talk about are a few things. We're going to talk about the Florida HBCU Mega Camp. What was it like? There was actually a camp today in Tallahassee where FAMU and FSU and a lot of other universities were involved, but I didn't make the trip for this one because I was there last week. So, but we're also going to talk about some of the future camps that are coming on. Some are college related, others are just high school related and more so competition based. We also are going to talk about some of the offers that went out. FAMU's track, we have one track athlete that's going to the nationals, and the baseball program, we walk away with some awards, even though we don't walk away with the top title for the SWAC championship. And we're going to go inside the Rattlers Den and talk about the top players from the running back and quarterback position or the backfield that you definitely need to look for and that you probably have already heard about. But we're going to use some of our data and information to talk about that. First, let's talk about the HBCU Mega Camp. What was it like? It was hot. It was 95 degrees. I was there. I did not stay the entire time, but I was there for quite a few hours, about 3, maybe 4 hours. And it was a good event, great attendance. I speculate about 400 or 500 students showed up, some pre-registered, some registered on site. And it was a really good time and an interesting opportunity for those who were able to attend. The biggest takeaway, it was the first year doing it. Could use a few more 40-yard dash areas and update the checkout mechanism or check-in mechanism. But overall, it was a great time. And some of the schools that were there were Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman was there, obviously. Benedict was there as well. Also, you're going to have Everett Waters. Howard showed up, which was a surprise. I did not know they were coming down. And you also have Florida A&M and Tuskegee. That's just to name a few. There were more universities that were there. But again, I didn't want to name all of them and run down all the lists. But it was a very competitive environment. And the coaches were welcoming, and the coaches were actively engaged in helping the students acquire more skills. And you got to see some of the position drills, the one-on-ones, that the students were competitive and responsive to a competitive environment. And that is one of the big takeaways, because you saw that competition is going to iron sharpens iron, is what we say in a lot of areas. And the competition level definitely helped out when you looked at this best of the students kind of going against best on best. And you're like, okay, this guy is probably the best guy out here. This guy may not be as good as that other guy. And for me personally, it was really great to see that. It was really good to see the students interact with the coaches, but it was also really cool the next day when you saw the students started getting offers from some of the universities that were there on site. I think that was the biggest takeaway and one of the biggest reasons you attend a camp like that. The weather, it was hot, but being here in Central Florida, you had students that were from Jacksonville, Miami, Tallahassee, Tampa, Orlando itself, and other parts of the nation that came down to the camp, and they left with offers. And that was the really cool part about it. And that's probably the most beneficial thing. You spent 70, 80 bucks, whatever else you paid in transportation fees, but you also got a scholarship offer. And a free education or a discounted education is priceless, especially when you consider what's going to happen professionally for these students post-graduation. Now, we do have other camps that come after or that are coming up. I'm going to name 3 of them just to keep it concise. There was the FSU camp today. I've seen some videos and pictures where the students took pictures up there at Tallahassee, and hopefully some of the students walk away with a great experience, but also get to meet some of the coaches and potentially leave with some scholarship offers. That's one of the big things that you want from that. But you're also going to have 2 camps on the same day here in the Orlando area. You have the Central Florida Showcase. That's going to be on the 16th at the Central Florida Academy. And that one is not Central Florida Academy. It's going to be at the fairgrounds pretty much. And that one's not too bad, $35 pre-entry fee, and literally right next to the fairgrounds, same place where they had the HBCU camp. And good opportunity. Looks like more so high school students are going to be there, but potential for a few colleges to show up. You're also going to have the Orlando QB shootout and battle in the pits. That's going to be at the Central Florida Academy. It's $100 for the quarterbacks, 50 for the position players, and 25 for coaches. Again, another opportunity for students to compete and be able to meet some of the top high school coaches in the area and to be coached by them. And they're also going to feed the students and give them shirts. So good opportunity. I'm not going to make that one. But the other one is the Chennis Berry Showcase. That's going to be on June the 17th, but that's in South Carolina. 14 colleges are going to be there. That's at Benedict College. And the reason I put it out there is because FAMU is going to be there. Obviously, you can see this, the Fangs Up podcast. You see the orange and green stuff behind me. And $30 registration fee. But again, you're going to have colleges and universities there at that one. Great opportunity to be seen by the coaches. And as I mentioned, some of the students that went to the Florida HBCU mega camp left with scholarship offers, or within the next couple of days, they go on a visit, they get a scholarship offer. So you're starting to see where some of these camps are beneficial, some are more fruitful than others when it comes to being able to receive scholarship offers, whereas others are giving you opportunities to create or produce or provide film showing you competing against other athletes. And I think that's something that you can't discount. You have to be able to share, because me as a person that is sharing some of the information and highlighting and celebrating when the students are being offered and retweeting it or whatnot, it's very easy to like or share when a student has a huddle film, or share the link to their huddle page. When there's no huddle page and there's no pictures, it's kind of hard to create something saying, hey, this guy got an offer, when it's just him hanging out with his homeboys or throwing up signs or whatever. I'm not putting a picture up there with you throwing up your three fingers. Like, that doesn't look good. I don't know what that represents. And I may know what it represents, but others may not. So just be cognizant of what you're putting out there on social media. I heard BCU's coach actually share that when we were at the Florida HBCU mega camp, saying, hey, be careful what you put out here on social media, because what you put out here on social media is your front door. That's what we see. That's a lot of times the first introduction or first welcoming that we have to you. But FAMU did offer some students this week. We offered a few offensive linemen. Caden Jones, 6'7", 305-pounder from De La Salle High School. That's De La Salle in Louisiana, not the one in California. He's a 2023 recruit. We also have Takofa Lewis. He's going to be a 6'3", 270-pound lineman from Pearl High School in Pearl, Mississippi, 2024 lineman. Also going to get a linebacker. That is Donathan LaCorn. He is a 6'2", 218-pound linebacker from Trinity Catholic in Ocala, and he's a 2023 recruit. And the last one is an athlete, Joshua. I said Jonathan. I'm sorry, Joshua. Joshua Robinson. He's 5'7", 150 pounds from Calvary Christian High School in Clearwater. So 2025 recruit. So we're seeing, again, FAMU is continuing to recruit nationwide. FAMU is a national brand. It is specifically strong in the southeastern United States, but if you throw a rock into most cities, you're going to hit a FAMU graduate. It's very common. You go somewhere, you wear FAMU paraphernalia, somebody's going to be like, what's up, Rattler? What's up, fam? They're going to say something to you. FAMU is just one of those schools, especially because during the Humphreys era, you had FAMU being one of the larger HBCUs, if not the largest in the nation, sometimes hovering around 12 and 15,000. And hopefully that is something that the university can get back to, having a large enrollment that allows us to produce a lot of graduates. Now, next, we have the FAMU Track program, and we have one athlete to talk about in particular. That is Rachel Robertson. She is going to be representing FAMU in Eugene, Oregon at the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championship. She's a senior, so this is going to be happening next Saturday, or this coming Saturday because it's Sunday. And looking forward to seeing what she did. She finished in 10th place, and so she got in there. And she's going to be the lone rattler at this competition. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for her. She's been her work is shown off this season. You can tell during the off season, during the regular season, she's continued to train, and this senior has a great opportunity to do well. Now, FAMU baseball, the season concluded. FAMU did not win the SWAC tournament. We went to the semifinals, but Southern put us out there. And I got to watch the game yesterday with Alabama State on the ACC network, and it wasn't a great outing when I was watching. Kind of gave up on the game, but glad to have some representation in the tournament. Would love for FAMU to get there. FAMU had 3 players, though, that made the all-SWAC team. One was Ty Hankey. He's a junior left fielder, number 14. During the tournament, he had 7 runs, meaning we had seven dudes scored because of him, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and 12 RBIs. So, so 7 runs, 12 RBIs, pretty good numbers. Probably had the best numbers in the tournament. Next guy is going to be Jared Weber. He is a junior third baseman, number 20. He had 10 runs, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and 9 runs batted in. So, again, as you can see, FAMU scored a lot of points during the SWAC tournament. Unfortunately, that first game was the one that kind of threw us off, in my opinion, where we were beating Southern and then we lost. But congratulations, Southern. Y'all did beat us. The next one is going to be LJ Bryant. He's a senior. He's a right fielder. He was number 27. And he had 4 runs, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs. And I got to watch these guys in person when they came to Orlando to play against UCF. So it was a fun season for FAMU baseball. We finished 1 game below 500, just 1, not 2. Just we had won 1 more game, 2 more games actually. We would have finished right there at the 500 or above mark. And also, if you have not seen within the last couple of hours, FAMU's going to have a baseball player that enters the transfer market. That is Robert Robinson. He's a redshirt junior. He's going to be a senior, though. He plays shortstop. His batting average is 179, which is below the Mendoza line. If you're not familiar, the Mendoza line is if you're hitting below 250 or hitting below 200, 250. It's in that area. So 179 ain't great, but we'll see. No home runs, 10 RBIs, and so we're going to see how he does there. Hopefully he gets an opportunity if he decides to stay at FAM, or if an opportunity to stay at FAM is there. Let's hope he takes that. But I wish him the best. I'm not a hater. If someone transfers from FAMU, it's okay with me. I don't take it personal. It's not a personal decision for me. It's your decision, and you have to do what's best for you and your family. Now, we're going to go quickly inside the Rattlers Den. And inside the Rattlers Den, we're going to have who are the guys that you need to know from the backfield. Now, and the question is, who's the man? We all know people like to pat their chest. I'm the man. Well, I'm going to start with the unquestioned, who I feel is the unquestioned leader on offense, Rashawn McKay. Rashawn McKay played in 12 games this year. He had a QBR of 131.86, completion percentage at 57.97%. I created a stat. His average yards per completion were 11.6. So he's throwing about a first down every time he gets a completion when you average up all of his completions for the season. And his average yards per game were 204.75. So, and again, McKay is the unquestioned leader. If you were at the spring game, football game, he has a way of having people draw to him. You watched his teammates gravitate to him after the game, during the game. His teammates, they like him. You can tell that it's not fake. It's not him trying to be the leader. It's natural. They follow him. They respond to what he is saying and what he's doing. And he knows the little dances. He knows who is what. Like, you can tell it's natural that he is the leader. And it's natural that the quarterback would be the leader of the football team. So if you got to see McKay at all this season, you're going to notice that he's the unquestioned leader of that offense. And the stats look pretty good. Again, less than 250 yards per game. Okay, that's not record setting, but you also had Bishop Bonnet dropped 1,000 yards. So I mean, you're losing a 1,000-yard rusher, but you got two ones behind him that were solid. Mentioning the running backs, first running back is going to be Terrell Jennings. Terrell Jennings, he played in 7 games. He had a net total yards of 544 yards. Average yards per rush came out to 4.9 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he ran for about 43 yards per game. That's not record setting, but when you consider you just lost a 1,000-yard rusher that was in front of him, it starts to make a difference. Like, okay, FAMU rushed for about 2,000 yards as offense, probably a little bit more than that. So you're considering the running game was very important to FAMU, and it will likely consider to be important when you look at students that are looking to come in, like Isaiah Conley. Hopefully, Coates is doing well, and the other players in the backfield that are there. Now, another running back that came on kind of late is going to be Jalen McLeod. He played in 7 games. He had net total yards of 257 yards. Okay, that doesn't sound like a lot. It's not. But again, I stated again, FAMU had a 1,000-yard rush on the team last year. But the big thing that's going to stick out to you is his average yards. His average yards are 4.5. He averaged 4.5 yards per rush. And he scored 3 touchdowns, and he averaged about 40 yards per game. So right in there, those two are your top 2 returning running backs. Combined, they average about 100 yards, a little less than 183 yards. There we go. Quick math on the fly. And you have a quarterback throwing for about 200. So you're going to start to see that these are your top players in the backfield that you're going to be looking out for as far as returning players. But FAMU beefed up the backfield. I already mentioned Isaiah Conley. I talked about Coates. You have some other players that are coming in there that are worth talking about as well. And I mean, FAMU's backfield is pretty solid. Like Eddie Tillman's back there, DeAndre Francis, Leland Willoit is transferring in. I mean, FAMU's backfield is really solid, very stacked, and we're going to be able to see that during the football season. FAMU's defense is going to probably be a little bit ahead of the offense, but I feel like as the season progresses, the offense is going to catch up. So, y'all, that's going to be the end of the show. We're going to be doing a show twice a week. We're going to do one on Sunday, and then we're also going to be doing one on Thursday. And we're going to be using StreamYard and live simulcasting the information. And it's also going to be on Anchor and all your different digital platforms. As always, y'all, I appreciate your time, and it's always going to be Fangs Up. Thank you to HBCU Digital Network as well as Fifth Quarter for allowing me to have this position to be able to speak to you all. Y'all have a wonderful day, and as always, Fangs Up.